So, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I was going to ask you a few questions from the conference today. What do you feel are the biggest challenges facing teachers in the near future?
Well, there are two. I mean, holding our courage up. I think that's, if you just read the media, you would think we were in dire straits. If you work around the world as I do, you would know most other countries in the world think teachers in this country are doing a most amazing job. And so I think there's something about keeping our spirits, courage and our aspirations for our students really high, and ourselves as learners. Seeing ourselves as learners, not feeling frightened into having to be expert about everything, seeing ourselves as learners, modelling learning ambitiously, that I think is always the biggest challenge for teachers. All good teachers are good learners, but it's particularly important in the kind of media rhetoric position we're in this country. But the second thing immediately, I think, is what I've just been talking about in that session, which is being really clear, specific, determined, and in a sustained way to get all of our students absolutely at the top of their game about literacy and the building blocks of that, so that they can express their achievements really clearly in the way the exam system requires them to. It is doable, but it's a precise set of skills. There's a body of knowledge underneath there, and it requires sustained effort where every teacher and every subject's reinforcing the same things time after time. So seeing the job of enabling our talented students to reveal their talent in written and academic ways, given the changes to the exam structure, is going to matter to them and their life chances. It is doable. We have to believe it's doable, but we also have to know that it's something we have to learn. The building blocks are there, but we have to learn how to put them together and make a whole bigger than the sum of the parts across all the different subjects. That's a kind of secondary perspective on it. For primary schools, it's pretty much the same thing, but kind of reverse. They know about the components of literacy, but they need to, they're needing to apply that to a much more complex, new and demanding curriculum too. And so I think travelling on that journey together as primary and secondary schools is the other part of this that I think is both a challenge, but it's also part of the solution.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Because that actually answers my next question, which is going to be, how do teachers overcome these challenges?
Well, I'd like to add a couple of things to that. I mean, I think one thing that's really, there are three bits of the research I'd probably pull out on top of all others. First of all, they should understand and see and expect professional learning, their own learning, to be just as demanding as the learning they're trying to put in place with their students. So they should give themselves time and respect and plan with those who lead them sequences of learning. Yes, without external support, fabulous days like today. Yes, by working with colleagues in their departments, in their phase groups, in their special needs groups, or whoever they work with. But working on a sustained basis, but above all, setting out to see really clearly how their students' learning could look if their learning is really successful. So just getting a picture, an image of success for students and working back from that, instead of just thinking about needs and kind of grinding forward from it. And doing it together, taking risks together, because it speeds up trust and is really powerful. And then the key thing is not just doing it, but make sure you understand why it is and isn't working for different groups of students.
Absolutely, I agree. If you had one sentence to summarise the most important things that teachers should do to improve outcomes for students, what would it be?
Focus on them in waves of small groups with particular shared needs as they're learning about them. Of course, they have to teach whole classes and get the whole class going forward, but the learning part of the piece is better done a group at a time in waves, because that way you can make your learning deeper. So it's go for depth as well as whole class in your professional learning.
Brilliant. I would say, what have been the highlights for Educate Ed 2015 for you so far?
Okay, well, it's very early in the day.
I admit, yeah.
But I loved the energy in the way people were responding to the things that happened in the session there, and the kind of questions people were asking were fantastic questions. And there's a real buzz around the conference. But I must say that I have loved being in this school environment. I'm going to get my phone out and go and take photos of all the different ways in which students' learning is just public around the place, because I love that as well. And I'm now in the position of starting to learn, and so that's going to be a highlight for me, because I've kind of got my first keynote. I've got another one to do later, but so I've got a bit of learning that I've got a chance to go and do now, and this looks like a really rich learning environment for you to do it in.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck.